Hello, Virgo, and welcome to my Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for what's left of February 2020. I hope you're well, Virgo. This is a general reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates, and if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. Take what works for you and let the rest go. Ace of Cups as your current energy. Well, isn't that beautiful? Six of Cups as your challenge. The Ace of Wands as your focus. The Eight of Pentacles as your advice. And the Nine of Pentacles as your future energy. Wow, you're on fire, Virgo. And bottom of the deck, talking about you're on fire. King of Wands as the underlying energy, the theme of your reading. Wow. This is fascinating. This is so good. Okay, I'm gonna pull up clarifiers before we go deeper into this, but this is starting so good. Let's do this. King of Wands. Let's look at the big picture. The King of Wands, eh? There you are. So we have the Seven of Swords with the Three of Wands as your current energy, along with the Ace of Cups. We have the Five of Pentacles with the Six of Cups as your challenge. We have the Five of Cups with the Ace of Wands as your focus. We have the Seven of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles as your advice. And we have adjustment, which is basically, well, this deck is different, but it's like a justice card, adjustment. Along with the Nine of Pentacles as your future energy. And the bottom of the deck, we have the beautiful Fortune card. So this is like the Wheel of Fortune with the King of Wands. Okay, Virgo, so this month of February, with this King of Wands, like, you know, we have a full moon in Leo coming really soon. I think it's on the 10th. 10th of February. And I think this full moon may affect you because the King of Wands is Leo energy. You can see the Leo here. But it doesn't necessarily mean only that. It can also mean other fire signs such as Aries or Sagittarius. Just in case this is relevant for you, maybe you have a strong fire in your chart as well, along with the Virgo moon or rising or sun, whatever. But yes, King of Wands is an archetype is somebody who's incredibly confident, somebody who he's more like a spiritual leader. The thing with fire is that it does talk about the spiritual realm, wands, and it talks about the actions that we put into the world based on our belief system. We all have some type of belief system. We created based on our life experience and our teaching, the teachings that we integrate into our lives and so on. And the King of Wands is somebody who believes in himself the most. He knows that he's going to be okay. He can take risks. And he can take risks not because he knows that he's not going to fail. Is that because he can afford to fail? He knows that if he fails, he's going to be okay. He has complete and full confidence and trust in himself that he can pick himself up from whatever situation. And with the fortune here, I think that weirdly enough, the way this comes to me, because this is Jupiter energy, right? It's about expansion. I think it's time for you to take some risks, Virgo. About what in your life that only you can tell. But I think that is something that's important for you because it's about the fire. It's something that having to do with the actions that you put out into the world, again because of the fire energy. But you see, this is the king, it's mastery. This is mastery of some type of spiritual aspect in your life, and it's time to take some risks surrounding that, surrounding your spiritual path, surrounding because you know spiritual path is our life path. You don't need to be awakened to be on a spiritual journey. um and we do awake sometimes from being completely ignorant to our spirituality. That's what's called spiritual awakening, right? And then we can assume somehow that everything is going to be in a certain way. We completely rearrange our belief system, and then another awakening comes, and so on and so on and so on. And we just learn more and more and more about the nature of the universe, and we expand our consciousness, and that's the point. So I think it's truly important to take some it's okay for you to take risks. It's okay for you to allow yourself to expand and to shine bright, to really be yourself, to really allow all of you to come out at the table, because it's safe. And it's not necessarily safe because it means that automatically everybody will love you just for who you are, or that you're gonna be accepted by everybody, and you're gonna, I don't know, have people throwing money at you or anything like that. That's not the point. The point with the King of Wands, as I said earlier, is that he has his own back completely. There is no question there. No matter what happens, because you know the wheel comes up, the wheel comes down. That's what a wheel does. He's going to be okay. And this is what you're learning from this character. This is what you're learning this month of February. You are okay. You are okay no matter what. No matter how much you worry, no matter how much you freak out, no matter how much you fall off the wagon one way or another. You see, like there's some very interesting cards that come here as clarifiers. Keywords: you have futility, virtue, worry, disappointment, debauchery, I think it's called. I don't really know how to pronounce this word. Debauch, like when you're doing overextending oneself. And adjustment, along with the King of Wands and Fortune here, right? So I think it's okay for you to take risks, and I think it's okay for you to feel everything there is to feel, and to really explore this part of you that's feeling all this stuff and allowing it to be. But yeah, let's go deeper into this. Take your risks, baby, because you're going to be okay. You know that deeply. You learn that deeply. You're going to learn it until, like, it's going to go into your bones right now. And you're open for that right now because of these Ace of Cups. You can only allow yourself to be this confident as the King of Wands is when you have your heart open, when you really connect to the deepest part of yourself, that part of yourself that tells you that you are safe. That's the only way you know you are safe. Because if we look outside of ourselves for safety, we're not going to find any. The way the world looks, it's pretty scary, right? Okay, yeah, everybody's minding their own business. We're all happy, joy until things go crazy, and then everybody just saves their own back. I don't know, all these fears and stories that we can come up with. And the more we carry these stories, the more confirmation of those stories we receive. But when you have your heart open, you are able to feel safe no matter what, even if not everybody likes you, even if some people do reject you and don't accept you for who you are, even though not everybody falls in love with you, and even if not, but not everybody maybe wants to do business with you or whatever, that's perfectly fine with you, because now you understand this is not you. This is not about you being not good enough. This is not about you having to be something else than what you are. You really get it, that when you have your heart open, you see this water overpours here, and it connects to this whole sea. That means that you are connecting to the universal consciousness. You're connecting to that sea of unconditional love. Why we all humans, all animals, all beings, we're all like Buddhists say, in samsara, in the sea of suffering, and all we are looking for is love. We are all binded by love, and when we are not feeling it, we feel fear, which is disconnection. So whenever we connect to our heart, whenever we really feel this unconditional love, we connect with everything. And that's when you know where we're safe. That's when we enter the flow. And this comes along with virtue, which is the 3 of Wands, and the 7 of Swords, which in this deck is called futility. So I believe that by opening your heart now, you allow yourself to really revamp, in a sense, your value system, you know. Because when all our actions into the world, they're driven either by for the greater good, by our heart, either for I don't know, by the ego mind, the earth mind, the animal brain, that's just looking to protect itself, to keep itself safe, and that's it. And it's not large enough, it's not big enough to comprehend this sea of love that you can only feel through your heart. And this is what the 7 of Swords is here. You know, it's like you almost have this contrast of an open mind, an open heart, and a mind that's trying to make sense out of that. And it's futile. Doesn't make any damn, it's not going to make sense to your mind. And your mind can surrender. That's the whole meaning of surrender in Buddhism. For example, when they say surrender, like I remember when I first started meditating, and when I was first exposed to these whole Buddhist principles, when people would tell me surrender, I would feel so much anger. I would be like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm a warrior, I will never surrender. You know, I had so much passion, and there was so much pain attached to that. And it had to do with I don't know, with I don't know what on earth I was attaching on it back then, but it had to do with dignity, and it had to do with I was imagining the craziest scenarios when people would tell me about surrender, like teachers and stuff. But now I understand. I'm like, okay, it took a while. And it is fascinating when the mind expands to the point of, okay, it's futile to try to make sense out of it. Let go. Just go with it. Allow it, and that's it. And then it will start making sense, weirdly enough. The moment we let go, the moment we stop trying so hard, that's when the magic happens. And that's when you are able to act out of virtue, because you're connected to your heart and you're not just calculating everything through your mind. The 7 of Swords also talks about cleverness, when we are trying to be clever, when we are trying always to kind of calculate things to make sure that we get what we want, a little bit manipulation, that type of thing, you know. But again, this is futile. I love that this card here is called futility. It is futile at this point. When you're in this energy of an open heart, and when you have the King of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune there, this great expansion of your spiritual realm, it is futile to allow your mind to just freak out and take over. Fear will come for sure, but you can surrender that too. That doesn't mean surrender to fear, but rather allowing yourself to feel the fear and stay with it. And you'll see that it's usually not as big and as scary as it was when I was trying to avoid it, really. So instead of like trying to devise clever schemes of how to not feel my fear, might be quite important to feel the fear. And I'm talking about fear because I just saw the moon here. This is the moon in Aquarius, futility. Yeah, exactly. Funny, I have my moon in Aquarius. But the moon in Aquarius is in a very interesting placement because the moon has to do all with the unconscious, with the fears and the emotions that we hold and all that. It's very deep and it's very intimate in our intuition. And Aquarius is an air sign. It's all about the mind. It's all about encompassing the world. Yes, so very smart. You can see the big picture. You can connect to the universal consciousness in terms of mind, but it can also get stuck in the mind, right? So it's really interesting. That's why I love that it's called futility. It's futile to try to understand it all. That's not the mind's job. The mind's job is to serve you, not to just take over and try to make sense out of everything. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now let's go ahead and see what's with the challenge here. So this Six of Wands here as challenge. Six of Wands. It's a card of melancholy. It talks a lot about kindness. It talks about coming into service. It's talking about innocence, but it also talks about melancholy and something from the past that's probably waiting on you. And it may be challenging for you to feel that right now, and it seems that it brings a lot of worry, and it may bring worry having to do with your physical realm, with the hard reality of your situation, whatever that is. Maybe you're afraid to really feel whatever comes from your past right now, because you may fear that this may destabilize you and you won't be able to function properly in reality, to go to work, to make the money, to pay the bills, to be, I don't know, efficient in your work, whatever that is, and get the job done. That can happen. I know it can happen to me. I don't know about you, but sometimes when my emotions can become so strong, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can literally go through the day like normally. I need to shut them down. They're too intense. And of course, that can go into the other side. The other side of emotional repression, where is not the healthy thing to do. Let's just put it this way. You're worried here. This is what is this? Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus, has been in Taurus for a long time. And I think it's still retrograde. I'm not sure, I need to double check that. I really don't remember if it's still retrograde or not in Taurus. I think it's still retrograde. But funny enough, Uranus is he's the revolutionary, right? So he messes up a little bit with things for us, so it can create those cracks so that awareness can happen. So for example, now whatever worry it comes to you right now about your physical reality, having to do with how to come into service, maybe how to bring my kindness into the world, how to do my inner child work, how to incorporate spirituality into my daily life, how to expand my mind and surrender and be all this in my heart space without being hurt, all that thing. How will this affect my physical reality? If we are to really function from the heart, we would be like so, we will be such disruptors into this world, because this world does not function from the heart so far. It's capitalism, it's I don't know, dog eat dog world. Look at the state of the world, look at the countries and the relationship in between them, and look at the relationship between people, all that. I mean, like, okay, I don't want to talk dystopian visions of reality so far. Of course, there are also happy things going on, but the general situation is not so great, right? And we can worry a lot about that. My point is that when we wake up to this heart energy, we want, like, okay, yes, I want to do everything from compassion, I want to come to service, but then I still need to pay my bills. How on earth am I going to do that, or, oh my god, I'm opening up so much, I'm becoming so sensitive, how am I going to keep myself safe so that people don't take advantage of me? What kind of worries can come when we are expanding our emotional realm in this sense, when we are connecting to these very soft and deep parts of us? So yeah, anyhow, your focus is the Ace of Wands and the Five of Cups, and there are two fives here, and then there are two sevens, and 5 and 7s are quite difficult energies, right? But look what's coming with them. I mean, like, these are coming as clarifiers. Because, for example, Ace of Wands talks again, it's whole new spiritual cycle. It's a awakening to something completely new. It's that moment of full insight when something just lights up in your mind. It's a whole new level of awakening. After you've done the cycle from Ace to the 10, which is the peep cycle, and then you've got all the way to the King, which is the quartz too, that cycle. And again, Jupiter here. This is very Sagittarian, if you think about it. Anyway, the Ace of Wands is again coming all the way to the number 1, right? It's the new cycle. So something lights up within you and allows you to look at disappointments, those fears that we're talking about that were futile to try to run away from, or to try to devise clever defense mechanisms and escape routes. These are the fears, this worry for financial security, this fear of disappointment, and even this fear of just going and not knowing when to stop, when we're just going into excess, when we're consuming, I don't know, you want to go out for a party and you overindulge, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever gives us pleasure. We are fearing not having what we need, but we're also fearing abusing what we can get when we put our hands on it, because we don't trust ourselves. The King of Wands trusts himself. He knows when to stop, and he knows when to go for it. He knows what he knows his boundaries. He knows his own limits. And I think that with the Ace of Wands here, you're definitely learning about your own boundaries and limits. This is Mars in Scorpio. Mars is very action-based energies, where we're putting our energy and time. And Scorpio is transformation. It's all about going and having the deep talks about everything that's taboo. And in this case, with this whole disappointment here, you are being illuminated about your own fear of disappointment. And the point is, like, when you get this type of like insight about it, you realize that these fears have power over you only when you try to avoid feeling them, when you're really present with them, when you really know that you have nothing to lose because you are safe. Even if everything falls apart, you know you're safe. Then this fear of disappointment doesn't make sense anymore. I mean, it makes sense, of course, because we are physically wired. Like, this is part of our conditioning. We are wired to want to be liked. We are wired to want to feel always secure, financially secure, and liked by everybody. And I don't know, we want to be perfect one way or another. We are afraid of other people letting us down, and we're also afraid of ourselves letting ourselves down here. But that's what we're also learning, that we can rewire ourselves. And the first step in rewiring ourselves is being present with whatever is present for us right now. In this case, fear of disappointment. Um, it might be connected to this Six of Cups here, disappointment from the past. Obviously, it's an old wound, and maybe this is why it's challenging for you. That's why it's worrying you. You're afraid to really feel it and look into it, and you're afraid that might put you down, but it's not going to put you down. Look, it's bringing awareness. It's bringing a whole new level of awareness. And that's where the gold is. The gold is in awareness. I'm getting like goosebumps, but you know, I don't have goosebumps like other readers have, like very in the moment, very, I had them very rarely like that. But I started having recently this like almost slow motion goosebumps. They're like moving through the body, but like really, really slow and really, really intense. That's so weird. But anyway, your focus now is on this awareness that is happening for you. And don't be afraid to feel into this. Don't be afraid to feel wherever you had been disappointed in the past, wherever you've been feeling disappointed by yourselves or by other people. Allow yourself to just feel it. Don't keep trying to shut it down, running away from it, worry about it, or anything of the sort. Stay with it, because there's so much information coming up for you from just being present with that. And that diminishes the power that this worry and disappointment has over you. Awareness doesn't go hand in hand with expectations. When we put too much expectations on ourselves, on other people, on a certain end of a situation and so on, that's when we tend to get disappointed. And of course, that's elementary. Everybody knows that. The thing is that with this Ace of Wands here, I think that a very personal situation is going to be illuminated for you, and you're going to make a connection there, down there in the depth of your psyche, that will allow you to gain some space for yourself, and a space where you are less pressured and affected by the worry and disappointment. Your advice. I keep trying to make these readings shorter, but it's never happening for some reason. So the Eight of Pentacles with the Seven of Cups as your advice. Your advice is to do what you do best, Virgo. Go into your structure mode. Allow yourself to do the work that you love and perfect your craft. whatever that is. That's small tasks, routines. Um, Look at this person. He's like so. He's taking his time with each and every pentacle, and he's building up so much, and they look better and better with each and every one that he does. Okay, I was wondering if this is the 8th or the 9th, because the 9 is coming right over there. This is hard work, but this is hard work that's done with motivation and with diligence and excess. The bush. um, I don't think that's going to happen. You may worry about it, you may fear it, but if you immerse yourself, it is not that type of like work hard, party hard. It's more like really get into what you love and do the tasks with all your heart and with all your being, and this won't be a problem for you anymore. Well, you don't work in excess either. That's the other problem. Sometimes we use work to escape our fears and emotions as well, so be mindful of that. Yeah, that's what comes out. I mean, like, as long as you stay present with each and every of these pentacles that you're creating, what you're investing your time and energy in right now, it's going to bring a lot of fruition. And excess is not going to be a problem. It will present itself to you for sure. There's always the possibility. We always make choices. Am I going to do this, or am I going to do that? Am I going to eat this healthy meal, or am I going to eat, I don't know, that burger from McDonald's, whatever? Temptation can come, or sometimes actually seems to have less and less power over us, as focused as we are and as much energy as we put in what we love. And I think this is kind of where this is going with your advice. And as future energy, you have the Nine of Pentacles and adjustment. And Nine of Pentacles talks about, okay, yeah, you worked really, really hard here. You follow this advice, you work hard, you do your thing, you really go in there, you do your routine. And that's you, Virgo. It's part of you. It's part of the archetype. Some of us may not be so deep in touch. For example, I have a Capricorn rising, and it's hard for me to connect with that side of myself and to really, because it's just something that it's very opposite of my sun and moon signs, which I identify with more, right? So some of us can resist this archetypal energy that we still hold, but we can still connect to it. I benefited so much from this Capricorn energy that can also have this attribute of working hard and doing this routine, structured work, being able to make the connections and to set the structure. Virgo, it's earth energy as well, and you, Virgo, you have this amazing ability of figuring out what's not working, sometimes to a fault. But you can figure out what's not working, you can figure out also what's working. You can also have a very investigative attitude, and you have a very good way of putting A to and B together and understand the bigger picture. Out of all the earth signs, Virgo is more intellectual in a sense. I mean, like, more concerned with creating methods, creating things that work. when it's not caught into just criticizing that doesn't work, or that doesn't work, that doesn't work. But you see with the Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles here, you can taste the fruits of your labor here. You work really hard, you tamed your impulses that were pushing you towards excess and I don't know, over drinking, over everything, excess, that's it. Just like this lady tamed the bird here. What you can do now is start doing adjustments. You have that power. You have the power to make adjustments. This is Libra energy, right? Like to balance up the scales. Okay, what do I have? I have the open heart and this virtue. Okay, the mind now can relax. I have the power to take a little bit from here and put it in the other side. Because I have the space. You've created the space of awareness with this Ace of Wands here as your focus. And you have the trust and the belief in yourself, the King of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune here. You understand that this is all happening because it's part of your growth. I think that you're going to take this in very, very well. It's a really good month. It's a really good month, Virgo. Great job. Now let's see whether it's take an oracle from Rumi Oracle. Get some wisdom of the heart. This one seems to be the card. Commitment. This Eight of Pentacles talks a lot about commitment, and that is your advice. And this is 31. So number 4, which also talks about structure. 31, 31, 31. Commitment. Okay, I'm going to read a bit for you. So the poem from Rumi says, "The awakened heart is like a lantern. Keep it sheltered from the turbulence of the winds of desire." Look at that. The Ace of Wands is the awakened heart. And these talk about like awakening the heart and that spiritual awakening. So the awakened heart is like a lantern. Keep it sheltered from the turbulence of the winds of desire, which is this whole temptation of excess. Okay, you go back in there, me love. All right, let's read up a little bit. So there's a flame that must be safeguarded. In truth, it can never be extinguished. It is the light that never goes out. Even with such enduring power, our recognition and respect of this flame is essential to human development. This flame is holy and lies within each human heart. Desire does not have to be a hindrance on the path. That's why I'm saying that this, I don't think it necessarily needs to be a problem as long as you stay centered and focused on what you need. Okay, let's see what they say. So desire does not have to be a hindrance on the path. It can show us our passions and help us find our purpose. However, the attachment that can come with desire, the belief that it can be stated only with one particular person, not stated, consumed, only with one particular person, one set of circumstances can cause us to stop looking at what the light is revealing to us, the way forward on our path in the here and now, and instead try to forcibly conjure the shadows to become what we imagine they should be. When we stop seeing life as it is, showing up for us every moment and engaging with it as it is, we can become careless with the light of the heart. Our huffing and puffing to force what does not need to be forced can cause the heart light to flicker and waver. These can make our way seem uncertain, and doubts can crowd in upon us as the light is compromised in its purpose. We forget to trust in what is because we get caught up in attachment and fear surrounding our desires. Worry, futility. Disappointment, of course, like attachment, brings with it disappointment. That's the cycle. That's the circle. That's why it's a hindrance. Where was I? Sorry. We forget to trust in what is because we get caught up in attachment and fear surrounding our desires. Rather than letting life move us, we try to move life. There is a way forward in your life path that needs to be seen by you now. It will be helpful for you to have that clarity and that certainty. You might have already caught a glimpse of it, but be doubting your vision or yourself. This oracle comes as a reminder to you: do not doubt. What you are feeling deep within the passionate love of your heart light is true. It is real. You are being led into it by the progress of life itself. You must trust in this, even if it seems at times as though you are being led away from the vision. Life operates according to a genius that is beyond the linear approach. It is to be trusted rather than understood. Yes, thank you. There is enough challenge in the personal transformation being asked of you to simply take the steps. That is more than enough. You do not have to also create or control the terrain, nor determine the map for the journey. You simply need to take each step that presents itself to you in each moment. Don't let fear that your desire won't manifest because you try to bend life to your will. It is an unnecessary battle and one that will not serve your soul here. Instead, just show up, be present. Attend to what it is before of you in each moment and trust yourself. Let the light of your heart take you into serenity that will bring you the balm of a solid core or comfort. Gosh, I'm really shit reader, sorry. Even whilst the world shifts and changes according to the workings of divine will. As you move along your life journey, step by step, that divine will is moving you to, shining one, into fulfillment of your own destiny. Life is not working at cross purposes with you, far from it. It is a co-conspirator with your heart. Come back to the stillness of the love within and know your heart light to be what it is, reliable and true, showing you the way even now in peace and stillness. Okay, Virgo, I hope this makes sense to you. I think it's wonderful, to be honest, and I'm always, like, seriously, I'm always surprised to see how well this line up always with this oracle card. I think it encompasses everything that we talked about here in a beautiful way. So do take that commitment to yourself that you are present with yourself and you will enjoy yourself so much. Thank you so much for being here. If this resonates with you, please like, share and subscribe. It would really help my channel grow so it can reach other people as well that may be in need of these messages. And may our practice benefit all beings. See you next month.